Oftentimes, painting characters, I spend so much time on the character that by the time I'm done, I don't want to paint the background because I've got a case of the lazies and I'm ready to be finished. So I've adopted the strategy of painting the backgrounds first and the character last so that I have plenty of energy for the background at the beginning, and I don't run out of energy painting the character because that's my favorite part and I could totally render a character for 8 hours straight. This illustration is done as a gift for one of my friends in my ARPG Discord server called Rootlings, and it's for the Secret Santa that my friend was hosting. I have stacks of obligations I'm supposed to be doing, but I've been feeling a bit of art block and haven't been able to make anything or even sometimes pick up my iPad, and I couldn't quite place why, but it was really loose and messy, and I really enjoyed just taking the turpentine brush and letting the colors mix together, and it was a good breakthrough for me to warm back up and kind of get acquainted with digital art again. I do tend to do art in bursts, well, digital art specifically. I will have a bunch of energy and do like 10 illustrations, 20 illustrations in just a month or two, and then I'll run out of steam and I'll have to recharge my battery for a bit before I can do anything else. Since it's winter and the event I was painting this for is winter themed, I decided to go for a snowy mountainscape, although it does end up getting covered up when I add the character in, since it's a close-up on the character's face. It still makes me happy to know that I took the time to make a full background before I went in and added the character. It makes it feel like that character really is in that place. It's more alive, more real, I guess. It actually sounds pretty silly saying that out loud, because I know it's if it covered up, it's all 2D, like it's not there, it just gets overridden, but still. The character I'm drawing today is a rootling from my art roleplay game, and it's owned by Wandering Rogue on DeviantArt. If you want to go check out Rogue, it's pretty cool animation artist. Rootlings are essentially the nature guardians of their world. They are vessels for ancient magic passed down from the dragons in the past. They take on the forms of natural animals with nature elements added to their bodies, so they can be plants or minerals like gemstones or feathers, water. It's really up to the artist's imagination. There's a lot of prompts and like story ideas. You get points for drawing the characters that you can use to progress in different areas of the game. There's just a lot of potential for ways that artists can grow their character stories in different ways. The world is super malleable. Like, you can create your own map for your character's story and fit it into the world. This is not a set map for the whole place. It's very loose, but with just a good amount of structure for story building. Judging by the length of the recordings, I think this took me 2 to 3 hours in total, but I've cut it down to like 13 minutes for your convenience. I guess I'm afraid that if the video is too long, I'll lose any audience that I might have. Definitely let me know, though, if you would want to see more of the process instead of just a bit of a speed paint, because there is a lot that I'm cutting out in between clips that shows really how I'm making it look the way it looks, instead of just like flip, there's another shot, flip, there's a cool looking shot. Like it actually takes a lot longer and a lot more time and patience and technical thinking to get through these stages of the process. For this artwork, I'm drawing on an iPad with an Apple Pencil in the Procreate app, and the brushes I'm using are the 6B pencil, turpentine, which I'm not sure if that's a Procreate preset or if I got that from one of the many brush packs that I've downloaded. Old Beach, which I do believe is a preset brush that all of you with Procreate should have, which is fantastic, and I highly recommend setting it to color jitter and hue jitter just ever so slightly, so that every time you place that brush down on the canvas it'll be a slightly different color. It's a really easy shortcut way to get some detailed color variation in your work. Makes things look a bit more natural, in my opinion. When I first started making digital art, everything was really bright, really saturated, really vibrant, colors everywhere. And the longer I make art in general, the more I find my style, the more I'm drawn to natural earthy tones or sophisticated colors, as my design teacher would have said. Grays, like anything that's a bit muted. I feel like they all just blend together better when they're not so bright, they're not so jarring. They kind of communicate better with each other that way. If you haven't heard of him, you should definitely check out Marco Bucci, because his videos on color theory are where I learned everything that I know. And they're very, very well written and very, very well demonstrated. And I highly recommend checking them out if you have any trouble with colors and you want to learn about them. I think it's been a month since I've done a long form video for YouTube, and I really wanted to do one when I got back from my Taiwan trip, but I ended up getting pretty bad sick, and I completely lost my voice for at least a week. If it might have been a little longer than a week, actually. And I didn't feel like doing anything but lay in my bed and read webtoons because I was so tired and just like I couldn't hardly speak at all. So I'm recording now. Here I am, back at it. I think it's about 11 p.m. now. I should be sleeping because I have class in the morning, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I just recently as in last night, gained 16 new subscribers. Woohoo! And I really appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for liking my artwork and supporting me and choosing to stick around and see what comes next. I really appreciate that. It literally made my day. I had to go to work earlier than usual this morning, and waking up to see that just put me in the best mood ever. And I was so happy just seeing growth, because I am pretty skeptical about being able to grow. Because I've never really had a social media account get very large at all. So just seeing people coming and looking and staying, like, it's just super exciting to see. Now at this point, I'm beginning to paint the character's Lumesi, which is the magic that this character is holding. So the Lumesi appears as a flame, but it's technically not real fire. So in that it's not burning the stick. The stick's not going to get burned down to charcoal. But it is being held on the stick because the rootling has the ability to manipulate it however it wants to. So it could be holding the flame above its head, above its back. It could move it around, wave it in the air, however it pleases. It can use the flame as a means of communication with other creatures, or as a guide, or as a way to spook people. Like, there's any number of ways. Like, it's really up to your creativity and imagination what the Lumesi can be used for. But in this illustration, It's inspired by the concept art that I got to see when this character was being thought out by my friend. So my friend had been brainstorming and thought about the rootling carrying the lemesi on a stick, and I also thought that was a very cool idea, so I thought it would be fun to surprise my friend by rendering it out in a portrait style headshot. I'm about finished painting the flame now, and flames used to be one of the hardest things for me to paint, but after practicing them for a long time, they've become one of my favorite things, and I think that's why I based the whole premise of my game around fire-like magic. I just think it's really beautiful. It always adds warmth and mystery to an art piece. I really love every art piece I see with flames in it, and I know, I just especially love warm ones, but cool light flames are cool too. I mean, like blue or green or purple, like they're spooky and mysterious. Like, I don't know, they're really fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me paint, and thank you for coming. And I'm about to be finished here, so I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you on the next one.